got to start with TikTok with you. Your reaction to TikTok going down, coming back up, and can you give us an update on where you are in your negotiation with ByteDance?
Well, we haven't had any negotiations with ByteDance because, as Lindsey Graham posted last night, the senator put out some pretty interesting news. There's something called a secret golden share that every Chinese company has to issue to the CPP leadership. That's Xi himself. And it turns out that ByteDance can't negotiate anything unless he's made a decision. The secret share is a veto power over all other shareholders. They do not have any.
So the president of China has basically overall power. And to be honest with you, I don't think the president is going to let ByteDance sell TikTok to the U.S., even though Trump is, of course, as you have seen, proposing a 50% ownership of the U.S., but that's not going to happen. Let's listen to Kevin O'Leary. And of course, Kevin O'Leary, you know him. He's the shark. He's a savvy businessman, billionaire.
Rights once the secret share has been issued. So now we're dealing with what to do with the secret share, because until Xi decides what's going to happen, it doesn't matter what shareholders think or the CEO or any of the management. It's irrelevant. It's the secret golden share that determines the fate of TikTok now. Regarding Trump's extension, I think what's happened overnight is that both the Biden administration and the Trump administration have told the service providers, Akamai and Oracle, that they will not impose the fines until this extension issue is resolved, because right now they're being fined well over $1 billion an hour if they were being imposed. That happened at midnight last night. Clearly, they're still up because they have assurances. Now, regarding the 90-day extension, that unfortunately is not provided for in the law as it stands today. That went away last night at midnight. So we're going to have to get an amendment to the actual order, the congressional order, the bipartisan order, to allow for this new extension. And I'm assuming the Congress will work with the president, and then this 90-day extension can be put in place. But it's really all about the secret golden share now. And by the way, every Chinese company that's listed in the U.S. has a secret golden share, and that's what raised the ire of Senator Lindsey Graham. This is a big problem going forward.
It honestly is a big problem. And of course, you could see that even though TikTok is back, if you deleted TikTok from your phone, there's no way you can get it back. It's not in the App Store, and it's also not in the Google Play Store. So you're SOL if you had deleted it when it went blacked out. And they're making it very difficult for ByteDance to sell the company, even though ByteDance may want to, which I don't think they do. There's no way the Chinese government would allow that to happen.
Well, and I'm glad you mentioned the legal perspective, because we heard from Senators Tom Cotton and Senator Ricketts yesterday about the legal side of this, and saying the law risks ruinous bankruptcy for any company who violates it. But now that the law has taken effect, there's no legal basis for any type of extension on the effective date. And again, Kevin, as you can see, I'm sure on your screen, we're watching these live pictures as President-elect Donald J. Trump, who's about to be the 47th president of the United States today, just now exiting his SUV along with Melania there at St. John's Church for the church service. We're going to keep these live photos up. But Kevin, I do want to get your reaction to this, because one of the things that Donald Trump said last night was government ownership. If it's a 50-50 proposal, 50% ownership, is it the government or a company that's going to own 50% of TikTok in this new proposal from President-elect Trump?
It would definitely be a company, you know what I mean?
Yes, I heard that as well. And sometimes, as we know with the president, you've got to distinguish the signal from the noise. He's very bombastic, and that's a very interesting idea. Unfortunately, it's not provided for in the law. The law is very specific that there can be no Chinese ownership. However, Trump could appeal to Congress to modify it, and that would, again, have to go back and be.
The Supreme Court has already ruled, so I don't think, as of right now, they're going to change their mind on that.
an amendment to allow a 50% ownership with China. But the problem also to deal with is the order last Friday from 9-0 decision from the Supreme Court.
Absolutely.
They further defined what's permitted in terms of the Chinese technology. There's 5 billion lines of code,
5 billion.
Chinese code, inside of TikTok.
If you honestly think about it, TikTok is like the Trojan horse, right? So it's spyware for China. And of course, a lot of Americans, they don't understand that. They just want to, get on the app, but they don't understand the security implications that TikTok poses. And the Chinese, they want it there, but at the same time, it's the American people. They don't realize the danger that TikTok is.
That's how it's used to garner, gather, and distribute information on American users to
Absolutely.
the Chinese CPP party, which is what this whole thing was about in the first place. That's why we're at where we're at. We're trying to avoid this spyware issue. And so that we're not allowed as buyers, or any buyer, to use any of that code. It's just forbidden in the law. So you also need the Supreme Court. You got to make a lot of changes to go to a 50-50 partnership, including the original act, including the Supreme Court decision. I think that's going to be challenging.
Kevin, I think the other thing, you're talking about the algorithm. Have you gotten any indication that ByteDance would be willing to part with the algorithm?
No.
Every indication, every messaging, because remember, we're dealing with the secret golden share now. We don't simply have a directive
Which
unless
is the Chinese president.
owner of the secret golden share is willing to discuss it. And so far, it's been a narrative between Trump himself and Xi. And so I don't know if the golden share owner, Xi, is going to put any parameters in place for any buyer. So we're as far as I know, we're the only buyer that's papered an offer that is in the hands of the shareholders and the owner of the secret golden share, Xi himself. And so because the secret golden share is a veto power, it's going to be whatever he decides or whatever he negotiates with Trump. And it's Trump's deal now. As of 12:05 today, it's his deal. So whatever he tells us, we're going to have to execute on. We're going to do it. We're the buyer right now of record. There may be another one I don't know of, but
right.
if the secret golden share decides to sell, I think we'll be the first to know about it.
All right, Kevin, today, of course, is Inauguration Day. President Trump's going to be sworn in as the 47th president of the United States. He returns to the White House another 4 years. Things begin around 11:30 a.m. Eastern time. The swearing in happens at noon, as you just mentioned.
I don't think the company is going to, ByteDance is going to sell TikTok. And to be honest with you, from a security standpoint, from a security-minded individual, I would not. I know that there are a lot of businesses on TikTok. People are making money on TikTok, but you can move all your stuff to YouTube. More people make more money on YouTube than they do on TikTok, right? So with the security aspect of it, they should keep TikTok out. But we'll just have to wait and see if the president does something or whatever he does. We'll have to see.